Hi, I'm Kyle Jardine, BPIF economist. Welcome to another video briefing covering just a few things from our latest Printing Outlook report, Q1 2021. Printing Outlook is our state of trade survey for the printing and printed packaging industry in the UK. It produces quarterly trends and forecasts and data on other topical or relevant issues such as COVID-19, Brexit, and other lobbying matters. It also pulls in other relevant data from some of our partnerships and collaborations. The latest report is based on the responses to an online survey from 149 companies, employing almost 10,500 people, and represents a combined turnover of over £1.6 billion. Excellent industry coverage. So big thanks once again to all those that participate. Before jumping in, I feel that once again I need to point out that much of the content remains downbeat. Fortunately, we are still in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, which has huge health and economic impacts. However, there are still some things that we can be positive about. This is one of the headline charts from the latest report. It shows changes in the volume of output. We asked companies if the volume of their output has gone up, down, or stayed the same in the last 3 months. The balance is the difference between the ups and downs, and this forms the darker actual line in the chart. We also ask what their expectations are for the next 3 months. The balance here forms a forecast and is the lighter line in the chart. If we look at the right-hand side of this chart, we can quite clearly see the downturn experienced as coronavirus hit us in Q1 2020. The situation worsened in Q2 before an improvement from that in Q3. The recovery was cut off in Q4 as the infection rate spiked and lockdown measures were tightened. As these have continued into Q1 this year, the forecast for that period is downbeat. Now, not all of the current Q1 forecast is pandemic related. Some of this will be a seasonal effect from those companies operating in sectors where demand has not been curtailed by the enforced lockdown measures, experiencing something akin to a normal seasonal downturn. And of course, there will be some Brexit-related turmoil in the mix too. However, beyond Q1, there are reasons to be more hopeful and confident. The various vaccine options, the speed of their rollout, and falling infection rates spark hope about a safe reopening for the full economy. Certainly, the UK government is confident that there is a considerable level of pent-up household expenditure just waiting to be unleashed. Both these charts relate to industry capacity. The left-hand chart shows the capacity dispersion at the time of the survey in January, the yellow bars. It also compares it to the data from October, the grey bars. As you can see, capacity has shifted to the left, a negative change and a noticeable deterioration in January when compared to October. The vast majority of companies were operating at between 50 and 90% capacity in January. The chart on the right-hand side is another depiction of capacity. This one is set up to highlight the proportion of companies that are working above 70% capacity, the darker orange portion at the bottom, and those working below 70% capacity, the lighter yellow part at the top. We can now instantly see how capacity was curtailed in April, how it has recovered in July and October, and how it suffered in January. The horizontal blue line is the 5-year average. We can see that in October, capacity was much closer to the average than it was in April and July, and than it was more recently in January. This chart shows some official data from the Office for National Statistics. The blue bars are the reported monthly turnovers for a large share of the UK printing industry, but excluding printed packaging and paper stationery. The right side of the chart clearly shows the strength of the impact the pandemic has had on the industry so far. April and May last year were both over 40% down in 2019. Then there was a recovery with a dip in August before improvement in September and October. Unfortunately, there was then a downturn through to January, which is the latest available data. However, we do expect that the data for February and March will show a slight pickup from this. The annual decline for 2020 was around 21%, more than double the decline in the UK's GDP. However, it's not quite as bad when the printed packaging sector is factored in. That limits the decline to around 17%. The latest edition of Printing Outlook reports on a slightly longer version of the survey. We have included some questions related to finance, credit conditions, and investment. Here we have two charts showing investment intentions for the year ahead. The top left chart is for plant and machinery, showing that investment intentions are, so far, largely flat for the year ahead. It's not that there won't be investment, it's just that many companies just aren't yet confident enough to accelerate their investment levels. The bottom right chart is for investment targeted towards product and process improvement. Here, we can see that the blue balance line, which we read off the right-hand axis, is showing a more positive intent for the year ahead. Companies may not yet have the certainty they require to make some large-scale investment decisions, but they're still keen to develop, become more efficient, and improve their productivity. We work with Begbie's Trainer and Red Flag Art to get a current picture of financial health in the industry. The top left chart shows the number of companies in the printing and printed packaging industry that are considered to be under a critical level of financial difficulty. The latest figures for Q3 and Q4 of last year are actually lower than what we might have expected during normal times. Companies are undoubtedly being supported by the government's support schemes. Now, the bottom left chart is more of a concern. This shows the number of companies that are under significant financial pressure. We can see quite clearly that the Q3 and Q4 bars for 2020 stand well above the previous comparisons. So whilst companies are not going bust in great numbers, the pressure they are under is mounting. The large chart on the right shows the overall financial health spectrum for the largest 5,000 companies in the industry. Currently, 39% of companies are in the green zone, with a strong and secure financial position. 26% are in the yellow zone, with an average credit risk. A further 26% are in the orange zone, with a higher credit risk, and 9% are in the red zone, displaying a high credit risk per credit scores and detrimental information filed against them. Now, this picture is supported by the respondents to the Printing Outlook survey. In the latest survey, 24% of them reported that they were expanding, 49% were stabilizing, 19% surviving, and 8% contracting. Before I finish, as I mentioned at the start, I do realize that much of the industry and economic data we are currently faced with is far from rosy. To be honest, much of it is downright bleak. We are in uncharted waters. However, we're not alone, and the government has been listening to business. All things considered, we have survived and are recovering well. Undoubtedly, there will be more challenges, but what is encouraging is how well some areas have performed and how quickly the industry has adapted. The speed and take-up of the vaccine rollout has so far been quite remarkable. Confidence is starting to return, and there is real hope that household and business expenditure is chomping at the bit, just waiting to be unleashed. Okay, that brings me to the end of the Printing Outlook content I'm covering here. I've included a link here where BPIF members can download the full report. It does contain a lot more information. It also explores other topical issues such as the impact of COVID-19 and Brexit. And in the latest edition, we have included investment and financing and credit conditions. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. The next survey period will be starting in April, with the report due to be published early in May. So thanks for your attention, stay safe, and I hope to see you soon.